Thank you for joining this edition of News Today, a series where we briefly discuss and analyze important news of the day. Without delay, let's explore the headlines first. Ministry of Home Affairs notifies Citizenship Amendment Rules 2024, exercising power under Citizenship Act 1955. The Defence Research and Development Organization has successfully conducted the Mission Divyastra, National Curriculum for Early Childhood Care and Education (NECCE) and a National Framework for Early Childhood Stimulation (NFECS) has been launched. Ministry of Communication announces telecom reforms. Department of Pharmaceuticals of Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers announces Revamped Pharmaceuticals Technology Upgradation Assistance Scheme. FAO published the Indian Network for Fishery and Animal Antimicrobial Resistance INFAR 2019-22 report. Let us start with the first news for the day. Ministry of Home Affairs notifies Citizenship Amendment Rules 2024 exercising power under Citizenship Act 1955. The rules amends the Citizenship Rules 2009 are notified to enforce Citizenship Amendment Act 2019. Before we begin, let us first start by understanding about the Citizenship Amendment Act or CAA 2019. The CAA 2019 amended Citizenship Act 1955. It provides that any person belonging to Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi or Christian community from Afghanistan, Bangladesh or Pakistan shall not be considered illegal immigrant if he or she has entered into India on or before the 31st December 2014 and has been exempted by the central government by or under Section 3, Clause 2C of Passport, the Entry into India Act 1920, or from the application of the provisions of the Foreigners Act 1946 or any rule or order made thereunder. Coming back, now let us discuss about the key highlights of the 2024 rules. To apply for citizenship by registration or naturalization, one must be a person of Indian origin, married to an Indian citizen, a minor child of an Indian citizen, a person whose parents are registered as an Indian citizen, a person whose either of his parents was a citizen of independent India and are registered as an overseas citizen of India cardholder. Other qualifications needed for citizenship by naturalization includes the applicant will have to present an affidavit verifying correctness of the statements made in the application and an affidavit by an Indian citizen to testify the character of the applicant. Also, the applicant must have adequate knowledge of one of the languages listed in the 8th schedule of Indian Constitution. For renouncing the citizenship of another country, the applicant shall have a declaration saying the citizenship of his country shall stand renounced irrevocably if the application for Indian citizenship is approved. The authority to which application may be made. An application shall be submitted in electronic form to the empowered committee through the district level committee as may be notified by the central government. The empowered committee may scrutinize the application and grant the citizenship upon fulfilling the criteria. Moving on to the next news. The Defence Research and Development Organization has successfully conducted the Mission Divyastra. The flight test of the indigenously developed Agni-5 missile with multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle technology was successfully conducted under the name Mission Divyastra. The test was carried out from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Island in Odisha. Let us first start by understanding about the multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle or the MIRV's technology. In contrast to a traditional missile which carries one warhead, MIRVs can carry multiple warheads, each capable of striking different targets independently. Other than that, they can be launched from land or sea from submarine. The United States of America was the first country to develop MIRV technology, deploying a MIRV intercontinental ballistic missile in 1970. Other countries like Russia, UK, France and China also possess it. Furthermore, in 2017, Pakistan reportedly tested a MIRV missile, the Ababil. Moving on, now let us talk about the Agni-5 missile. The development of Agni-5 missiles was started in the early 1980s under the Integrated Guided Missile Development Program by the DRDO under the leadership of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So far, 6 variants of Agni missiles have been developed. The Agni-5 missile uses a 3-stage solid-fueled engine and has a range of more than 5,000 km. The Agni-5 MIRV system is equipped with indigenous avionics systems and high-accuracy sensor packages. Moreover, it can deliver multiple nuclear warheads against different targets spread across hundreds of kilometers. Let us also discuss about the features of the other Agni missiles as well. They are surface-to-surface ballistic missiles and the mainstay of India's nuclear delivery options. They have a range of 700 to 1250 km of Agni-1, 2000 to 2500 km of Agni-2, 3000 to 3500 km of Agni-3 and 3000 to 4000 km of Agni-4. Agni Prime or Agni-P is the latest missile with a range of 1000 to 2000 km. Agni-P is a two-stage, canisterized, solid propellant ballistic missile with dual redundant navigation and guidance system. Also, it can be easily deployed and launched at a quicker pace. In our next news, the National Curriculum for Early Childhood Care and Education and a National Framework for Early Childhood Stimulation has been launched. These schemes have been launched by the Ministry of Women and Child Development. These initiatives are aligned with the National Education Policy 2020. Now let us first start by getting to know about the National Curriculum for Early Childhood Care and Education or NECCE. The children eligible for NECCE 2024 is from 3 to 6 years of age. The NECCE 2024 covers all domains of development as per the National Curriculum Framework for Foundational Stage 2022. It includes physical or motor, cognitive language and literacy, socio-emotional, cultural or aesthetic as well as positive habits. The scheme aims to improve the quality of early childhood care and education transacted at the Anganwadi Center by prioritizing the competency-based lesson plans and activities presented in a simple and user-friendly manner. It further provides for a combination of activities including in-center and at home, indoor and outdoor, child-led and educator-led. The scheme will have a special focus for inclusion of the young children in every activity, community engagement and a continuum of home learning activities. Now let us move on to the National Framework for Early Childhood Stimulation or NFECS. The NFECS 2024 will be for children from birth to 3 years of age. The scheme aims to empower caregivers and Anganwadi workers for holistic early stimulation through responsive caregiving and opportunities for early learning, for optimal development of children with both body and brain. It focuses on the principles of serve and return and with the caregivers 3 acts of love, talk and play, and lastly, positive guidance.
In another news, Ministry of Communications announces Telecom reforms. The reforms were launched at the curtain raiser of the World Telecom Standardization Assembly or WTSA to be hosted by India in October 2024. International Telecommunications Union, a specialized agency of the United Nations, conducts the WTSA once every 4 years. Before delving into the key reforms, let's understand about the telecom sector. The telecom industry in India is the second largest in the world with a subscriber base of 1.079 billion, but faces challenges like sustaining average revenue per user growth, maintaining consistent service quality, adapting to shifting consumer preferences, intense competition, and more. Now take a look at the key reforms announced. Spectrum Regulatory Sandbox (SRS). It simplifies research and development regulations to encourage spectrum band exploration and drive technological advancement. Wireless test zones for facilitating outdoor testing in SRS are categorized into urban and remote areas for experimentation. Another, abolition of wireless operating license required as per Indian Telegraph Act 1885 to simplify license processes, save service providers time and improve the ease of doing business. Lastly, MOU with Ericsson for the Ericsson Educate program to offer approved courses and improve students' digital skills in universities where 5G case labs have been established. Furthermore, government initiatives for the telecom sector include Production-Linked Incentive PLI scheme for telecom and networking products, 100% FDI under automatic route, rationalization of adjusted gross revenue, increasing spectrum tenure from 20 years to 30 years. In another news, Department of Pharmaceuticals of Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers announces Revamped Pharmaceuticals Technology Upgradation Assistance Scheme (RPTUAS). Here are the key highlights. Erstwhile, PTUAS is a component of Strengthening of Pharmaceutical Industry Scheme. SPI scheme aims to strengthen the existing infrastructure facilities to make India a global leader in the pharma sector. The aim is to support the pharmaceutical industry's upgradation to the revised Schedule M and WHO's Good Manufacturing Practice Standards. Schedule M of the Drugs and Cosmetics Rule 1945 provides Good Manufacturing Practices or GMP for pharmaceutical products. And the other is to enhance the quality and safety of pharmaceutical products manufactured in India. It also broadens the eligibility criteria. Any pharmaceutical manufacturing unit that requires technology and quality upgradation and fulfills turnover criteria. And the preference remains for MSMEs. Earlier, the scheme covered only MSME pharmaceuticals. For companies with turnover in the last 3 years, for less than Rs 50 crore, incentive of 20% of investment under eligible activities. From 50 to less than Rs 250 crore, incentive of 15% of investment under eligible activities. Lastly, from Rs 250 crore to less than Rs 500 crore, incentive of 10% of investment under eligible activities. The scheme has enhanced the scope of eligible activities. It now includes water and steam utilities, testing laboratories, stability chambers, waste management, and more. It emphasizes on a reimbursement basis subsidy over a traditional credit-linked approach. Along with that, it allows integration with state government scheme. This provision will enable units to benefit from additional top-up assistance. Lastly, enhanced verification. Verification through a project management agency for ensuring transparency, accountability, and the efficient allocation of resources. Moving on to the next news. Food Agriculture Organization published the Indian Network for Fishery and Animal Antimicrobial Resistance INFAR 2019-22 report. The Indian Council of Agricultural Research ICAR, with support from the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO, launched INFAR in 2017. It undertakes surveillance of antimicrobial resistance or AMR in the aquaculture and veterinary sector. AMR occurs when bacteria, viruses, fungi no longer respond to antimicrobial medicines. AMR has been accelerated due to misuse and overuse of antimicrobials in humans, animals, and plants, like oxytocin misused in dairy sector. Take a look at the key highlights of the report. In both sectors, very low resistance was seen to some of the antibiotics which are not in great use, like the chloramphenicol. Staphylococcus showed extremely high resistance of more than 60% to penicillin in the fisheries sector. In the livestock sector, E. coli and staphylococci exhibited high resistance. Antibiotic usage may be higher among organized and contractual farming. In regards to the global initiatives to tackle AMR, we have Global Action Plan on AMR by World Health Organization, Aware Access Watch Reserve Framework, Global Antimicrobial Resistance and Use Surveillance System GLASS, and the World AMR Awareness Week from 18 to 24 November. In terms of India's initiatives to tackle AMR, the National Action Plan on AMR was launched in 2017. Another is the AMR Surveillance Network. Also, National One Health Program for Prevention and Control of Zoonosis. Lastly, Integrated One Health Surveillance Network for Antimicrobial Resistance. In today's Place in News, we will discuss Haiti with its capital, Port-au-Prince. Haiti is experiencing a surge in gang violence as gangs demand for resignation of the Prime Minister. Let's discuss its political features. Haiti is a Caribbean island on the western part of the island Hispaniola. It shares land border with Dominican Republic on the east, and its maritime borders are with Caribbean Sea from the south and west and the Atlantic Ocean from the north. The Gulf of Gunao lies along the western coast of Haiti. In terms of geographical features, the longest river is Artibonite. It also has 4 mountain ranges, namely Cordillera Septentrional, Northern Massif, Mathieux Mountains, Massif de la Salle, and its highest peak is Pic La Salle. The tropical climate in the region remains warm and humid.
As we conclude today's main news, let's take a look at some quick updates. The Ministry of Jal Shakti has launched its 5th edition of the annual Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain 2024 campaign. This campaign was first launched in 2019 as a Jan Andolan, and since 2021, it has become an annual feature covering all blocks of all districts across the country. Its aim is to initiate and accelerate water conservation at the grassroots level through the citizen participation. Karnataka has banned the use of artificial colors in gobi, Manchurian and cotton candy. The color chemicals like tartrazine and sunset yellow can cause allergic or pseudo-allergic reaction, whereas carmozine can cause skin rashes and respiratory allergies, and rhodamine B, which is a chemical coloring agent, used in textile dyeing and the paper industry is considered carcinogenic in nature. Agreement for the transfer of technology for textile reinforced concrete prototyping technology or TRCPT has been made between CSIR and L&T Construction. The TRCPT is a non-conventional construction material consisting of fine-grained cementitious binder and non-metallic textile reinforcement. It is a precast technology and can help in economical mass production of TRC products. Through the 2024 regulation, Securities and Exchange Board of India or SEBI has mandated registration of index providers managing significant indices based on the securities listed in India. An index provider means a person who controls the creation, operation and administration of a benchmark or an index. These regulations will further foster transparency in the governance index in the securities market. Talking about the index, it measures the price performance of a basket of securities using a standardized metric and methodology. The ministers of health from African countries have signed the Yaoundé Declaration to End Malaria Deaths. It was signed at the Yaoundé conference, which was co-hosted by the World Health Organization and Cameroon. 11 African nations, which account for the majority of global malaria infections and fatalities, signed the declaration. It further includes the commitment to allocate 15% of annual budgets for the health sector. Defense Ministry has signed Rs 200 crore contracts for anti-drone or Vajra Sentinel system under the Indian Defense Exhibition or the IDEX initiative. Vajra Sentinel system is a modern solution designed to detect, track and neutralize drones at extraordinary ranges. This system offers soft kills by jamming and hard kills by interceptor drones with operational range of 10 km and a hard kill reach of 5 to 6 km. The Indian Navy has participated in the United States Naval Forces led multinational maritime exercise Cutlass Express in Seychelles. It is a cornerstone of maritime security and cooperation in the strategic waters of the East African coast and the Western Indian Ocean. Trends in International Arms Transfers 2023 report have been released by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. Coming on to the key highlights of the report, in terms of export, USA is the largest arms exporter and its share of total global arms exports rose to 42%. France for the first time was the second biggest arms exporter, just ahead of Russia. And in terms of imports, India was the world's top arms importer. Its arms imports increased by 4.7% between 2014 to 18 and 2019 to 23. Before we go, it's time to put your knowledge to test in today's segment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you have enjoyed this edition of News Today. To get the answers to today's quiz and to download the PDF of News Today, make sure to check out the links in the description below.